Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. I've been book shopping again. I couldn't resist. We went round some charity shops in Clifton in Bristol, which is probably the posh part of Bristol. And yeah, I managed to find some really lovely books that I thought I would quickly share with you, just in case you see anything here that you like the look of for your own journaling. So yeah, we went around all of the charity shops. So all of these things were very reasonably priced. I think most of them were about £2.50, £3. So I managed to find this. It's a Dylan Thomas, the poet, but I really just bought it for, isn't that cover gorgeous? Really beautiful red and gold. So this is Guild Publishing London, 1976 I think this one is from. Inside it's got really lovely yellowed paper, and the way that he does his poetry is some cases really interesting. Some of it just looks like normal poetry, but some of it is shaped like what you've just seen. So the pages inside will be lovely to use, I think. But yeah, I really bought it for the cover. So yeah, really beautiful, deep red, and that gold gilding on the front. So yeah, I couldn't resist that one. I found this one. I think some of you might have seen this book before. I know I have, but this one was £1.99, so £2. This one is a Floral ABC by Elizabeth Cameron, and it's quite a dinky little book, but it's lovely. So it's illustrated by her. So we've got the lovely Daisy, and it's handwritten, and it says 1980 there. So all throughout it's got the A to Z, A to Z of flowers and plants, and then she does like a write-up about them. And they're stitched in, so it would be nice to take these out as double pages. Cowslip and Daisy. Because you may be able to find these books, you know, online if you like the look of them. I really like how she's done the lettering. Isn't that lovely? The bindweed, great bindweed for G. Honeysuckle. So yeah, these all make, I mean, look at this with the ivy. This is a kit that I would love to be able to do with some like brick wall and ivy growing up of it. One day I'm sure I'll have something like that, but obviously, you know, these pages are just for using in their original. Can't be scanned in because of the copyright, but certainly inspiring. You might recognise some of these plants and flowers from the Flower Fairy books. Some of these are used in there, like the nettle, for example. That's a flower fairy. Orchid. Poppy. She says here about when she picked them up or saw them across the 70s and 80s. Queen of the Meadows, that's definitely a flower fairy. Ragged Robin. So I imagine these must be wildflowers that she's seen then in the UK. I have never heard of this one. U is for umbelliferae. Umbelliferae. It's not a flower, but it's the name of a very large family of flowers. You may think this is a very long and difficult word, but it's quite easy if you think of an umbrella, as the words are very alike. Well, that's going to stick with me. That is very funny. Vetch. Wood sorrel. I love that. There's like ferns coming out of the tree trunk. X is for extra. I can't find a flower starting with X, so I have chosen the periwinkle. The Latin name is Vinca minor and it belongs to the Aponicinae family. Well, that's just cheating. X is for extra. Oh, that makes me laugh. So yeah, I suppose later in the alphabet you might start clutching at straws maybe. Z is for zigzag clover. Well, she's written a lot about the clover. This is all about the clover as well. Looks like she's written a story. The cows in Clover's field. So yeah, just some really, really fun pages, that one. So this edition is from '93, but she originally wrote it in 1982. So there you go. That is this one, a Floral ABC. So yeah, I just thought that would be a really, really fun. I would probably use them as pages, so that you could keep, you know, things together. I imagine that's probably how I would use them, but beautiful nonetheless. This one is for my own personal use. It's not for my journaling. This is Heidi, in case nobody has read the story or heard of the story. I originally read this, I think I was 10. No, younger than that. I was in year 5, so I would have been 9. I was definitely 9. And my teacher, I was an absolute voracious reader. I was reading everything within my grasp. And my teacher, my primary school teacher, lent me her original copy of Heidi. She let me take it home with her. It was an old book. I remember it being very old. And she let me take it home and she let me read it. And it was such a trust. And I absolutely loved the story. From what I remember, I don't remember a lot, but it was about the girl Heidi. And it was stuff to do with her living in the mountains. And I remember sheep. That's literally all I remember. So I bought this for my own use to read. Now this one was a lot more expensive. This one was from one charity shop, which was I think I paid £6.50 for this, so it was quite a lot more expensive, but I did so because I want to read it. So this edition was published in 1950. It said last reprinted 1965. And yeah, I just remember it being a lovely, lovely story. So come back to me. Let's hope I still like it as an adult. But yeah, I just thought I couldn't resist. As soon as I saw it, I thought yes, because I really want to read it again. Okay, right, back to journaling. So this was one of these finds that you just think, really? I found this in a charity shop? Wow. So this one was £3. Some of you might recognise this because it is actually a very well used book in journaling. So it's the Concise British Flora in Colour, W. Keble Martin. Now I did a flip through of this, not this exact book, but the version I had, probably a year or two ago. And the version that I had was a more modern version, I think from the 1980s if I remember. And the paper inside was very white and glossy. This one, completely different story. So this one is from 1965, and instead of the white glossy, you get matte vintage, which don't we love? So this is this book, and I'm not going to do a full flip through because most of the pages are the same. But essentially you get these full sheets of the, you know, the different plants and flowers and things for each family, category, genii, however you want to call it. So you know, you get all of the orchids together, you get all of the, what are these, campanula together, sort of like that. But they give you really nice big full sheets, which are lovely for botanicals. And this was such a find because, as I said, I have had this book before and it had white glossy paper, but now with this 60s version we've got the really old vintagey paper. So isn't it lovely? As I said, I won't do a full flip through because we'll be here ages otherwise, but lovely. Well, look at those with the roses. One of my favourite pages, I think, that. But really, really lovely to use for journaling. And yeah, I paid £3 for this in the charity shop, so it was one of those moments, kind of like seeing an Edith Holden, I suppose, where you just think, oh brilliant, nobody spotted it. No one knows its true value. So yeah, I'm really stoked about this one. And would you just look at the cover as well? So the original cover, I think I had a paperback version when I was talking about the white glossy. This is obviously hardback, and it's got the beautiful green linen with the gold gilding that we just love. So yeah, 1965 this version. So if you do look for this book, I definitely recommend trying to look for older versions, because the newer versions, as I said, have the white glossy as opposed to the the matte vintage papers. I know that now, I didn't know that at the time. Okay, and then this is the final one. Again, I think I got this in the same store as the British Flora I've just shown you. They were next to each other. This one I had never heard of, but it's really lovely. So this is The West Country is a Garden, A Wayfarer's Companion by Catherine Hamilton. And it's all based around the southwest here in England. And it's got her beautiful drawings. So this one is 93, but this one is white but matte. And it's got a really, really lovely texture to the pages. So this one is her beautiful illustrations all throughout southwest UK. And you can see here how she's got her painted sort of illustrations with her sketches, which is a lovely contrast, I think. Avebury and Stonehenge. So yeah, she goes to these places, but she's looking out for the plants and flowers that she's seeing. This one smells very old and musty, but I think, you know, having a bit of airing out will be just fine. So a lot of these places I've been to actually that she's written about in this book. So here, Stourhead Gardens, they're in Wiltshire. And fun fact, the Pride and Prejudice movie from 2005, you know, the one with Keira Knightley, the scene where Darcy first tells her he loves her, very inarticulately and annoys her, is actually at the Pantheon at Stourhead Gardens. So you'll recognise it from the pillars if you do ever see it. Dorset. Oh, like Robin. Oh, beautiful. So we've got Orange Blossom. But can you see the contrast between the black and white sketches and the coloured illustrations? This one's lovely. Stitched in pages, always a plus for us, so that we can take things out as doubles. But there's lots and lots of white space. So again, I would probably use these as journal pages, because there's lots of space for you to write little notes, you know. I mean, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? I wouldn't want to fussy cut these out because I love the look of these flowers with the black and white sketches. So yeah, this is another good find. So this one I will do a full flip through of because it's just lovely with all the different illustrations and things. I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think it would probably be around about £2.50 or something. So yeah, very, very blessed. We went to bookshop after bookshop in terms of, they were all charity shops, but there was a lot of specifically books. Yeah, spent more money than I intended to, but it was lovely to see. Oh, that's Bath, down the road from me. I was sort of thinking, hang on a minute, those pillars, yes, that's Bath with the fuchsia. Oh yes, that means we've got Bristol, again down the road from me. I'm in between Bath and Bristol. So it's talking here about the floral emblem of Bristol since medieval times is the scarlet flower of Bristow, also known as the Maltese cross. As she said, she was fascinated by the street lamp outside the Corn Exchange. So fun fact, the Corn Exchange is, well, it would be where they used to do markets and things. So the Corn Exchange quite literally being, you know, going to a market to buy fruit, veg, bread, whatever they did at markets. But fun fact, on the outside of the Corn Exchange building is a clock, and Bristol used to have its own time before, you know, before Greenwich Mean Time, before I think it was the introduction of the rail network that essentially said, you know, we have to have this national time so that people can get to the trains on time and all of that. But before that, Bristol had its own time. I think it's 10 minutes, is either 10 minutes faster or 10 minutes slower than what the time is now. And they've actually marked it with, there's an extra hand on this clock outside the Corn Exchange, which actually shows what the time would have been back then in the, you know, 16, 17, early 1800s probably, something like that. Can you tell I like my history? I sure do. So yeah, this is a lovely, lovely book. And the pages are really thick. Can you feel that? Hear that? Really thick pages. Oh, I've been there. As I said, you know, I live in the west, so I've been, well, southwest, so I've been to a lot of these places. This is Lynmouth in Devon, and there's this, you see this little rail car thing. So there's two, they're either towns or villages, I think they're towns, Linton and Lynmouth, that are connected by this rail, and it goes up a cliff, and would you believe it's powered by water, and it's been around for literally hundreds of years. It says here it opened in 1890. It's still going. You can get on it, you pay your ticket and to get you up the cliff, because otherwise it would be an almighty climb up some hills. But yeah, you it's powered by water, so it's something to do with there's essentially two rail cars, and one will be at the top, one at the bottom, and when they're ready, when you're all like boarded on, they do something with the water to essentially counterbalance the stuff. So the one at the top comes down and the one at the bottom goes up. It's really, really strange and surreal, but from what I understand, very safe, because I've been on it and I was fine. But yeah, that's the great thing about the UK, is these things, a lot of these things are still in operation, you know, very historic. Lidford Gorge, that's one of my favourite National Trust places, a beautiful walk through the gorge. And then yeah, actually she talks about Gubbing's gang. They were robbers in that area, and there's this like poem or some kind of poem, I think, about them from that area. Very safe today. But yeah, I've been to lots of these places in this book, so if you like the southwest, I love the southwest of England, then this is a lovely book, especially if you've been to these places as well. But even if you haven't, I hope that you will agree. It's a lovely little book. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing those. I don't think this has been read, because every time I open the pages, it does that, you know, it does that snapping thing where you just think, this has never been read, has it? I don't think it has, which is such a shame, because it's a lovely book, which I will mighty enjoy using. I do want to do some more book projects, because I have lots of books, and I keep telling myself I need to use what I've got before I buy any more, but when you're going through a charity shop and you spot books like this and they're only a couple of pounds, well, you can't just say nah, I'll get it next time, because well, there might not be a next time. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing those. As I said, that is my most recent book haul. You can blame my husband for this one, in case anyone ends up reaching for their wallet and going off and finding these books online. My husband's fault. No, I'm joking. It was his idea to go to the charity shops. Isn't he brilliant? He was like, let's just spend a day mooching around on a Sunday at these charity shops. Let's go for a tea and coffee. Best husband ever. Because I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then I came away with this little hoard. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed seeing them. I hope that it's given you some inspiration for some books you might want to look at. Either way, hopefully you've just enjoyed seeing them. And yes, I have more books that do not fit on my bookshelf. So yeah, we definitely need to do some projects using up books and things. So I'm going to put my thinking cap on as to how I might want to use some of these things. For the meantime though, I hope you've enjoyed seeing them, and I thank you for watching. Speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.